The end of Hell Week happens. We limp to the finish line, as you know how that goes. We do the med screening at the time, and he gets the x-rays, and come to find out is both tib fibs were at like something like a 70-something% stress fracture, if I remember correctly. So the dude was walking around on toothpicks that were about ready to snap at any given moment, and yet he finished Hell Week. One of the moments I knew I struck something important when you talk about peer leadership, because that's really what the SEAL teams are. If we all go through BUD/S together, we're leading peers. We're all the same. We've been the same place. We've done the different things. I might wear a different rank. I might have a different role and responsibility, but it's truly peer leadership. And as you know, when you roll with the people we roll with, you're an idiot if you think you might be better than them because of some rank that you might wear. These guys are incredible, and girls, they're absolutely some of the nation's best. When you said earlier, nothing so special about just going to BUD/S, those are my words, not yours, but it's something like that. I disagree in the sense that I've looked at the numbers. It's like 0.001% of Americans even get to our front door. So that's one of the things we would tell all these candidates. Hey, no matter how this goes for you, you are already the top 0.001% of American youth. Hold your head high, hold your shoulders back. You had the guts to come here and try this program. That's more than most people. A lot of people out there will spend money on a weekend experience and talk about how they coulda, shoulda, woulda. You had the guts to come try. That takes a lot of guts, knowing we have a very high attrition rate.
You would say this to the candidates as the commanding officer? Absolutely. So you're giving positive affirmation for these guys
all the time,
from day one.
All the time.
I didn't get that.
You didn't get positive affirmation? Weird. I didn't either as a candidate either. It was one of the things I wanted to kind of change a little bit. And we didn't, positive affirmation, we didn't coddle. I was very stern. But we absolutely give credit where credit's due. And we look for those moments to positively affirm someone. We see something special. Hey, I like what you did there. I want you to do more of that. You're on the right track. When I'd see an officer in the middle of Hell Week, as they're getting their burrito night at Camp Surf, make sure his whole boat crew and the whole class goes ahead of him, and he took last place. And I watched it. I saw it all happen with my Command Master Chief, and no one told him to do it. I walked over, grabbed him. Hey, man, why'd you do that? I saw that. Oh, I don't know, sir. It just seemed like the right thing to do. Well, you were right. Keep doing things like that. We're watching for those things. These are the moments we write down. Hey, this guy showed good character, good leadership. That goes in his file. That's now a data point we have on assessing that guy's character. I've deviated, though, from your initial question. So the first time I really think I stumbled upon what it means to lead in naval special warfare involves Matty Roberts. So we went into Hell Week, and it was a very cold Hell Week. We got reduced down pretty quickly in numbers, and Matty was in my boat crew, and we were pretty good performers. We weren't the Smurf crew, and our Smurf crew were crushing it, but we were pretty good performers. At some point in Hell Week, and I don't remember when, we started dragging, and Matty was just having a hard time, and he couldn't explain it, but we knew him to be a trustworthy teammate and someone who's selfless. He didn't duck boat, ever. He kept his shoulder under the log every single time. He was always rallying dudes. He was one of our stronger guys. But all of a sudden he's dragging and we're losing every race. And you know what it's like to lose every race. You start paying the man a lot more. And at one point we start doing the internal grumbling, right? Everyone's starting to get into pointing of the fingers and anger. The emotions come out, the veneer drops. And I don't remember what was said, but probably some not so nice things to Matty about, hey, dude, you got to put out or DOR, like you're hurting your boat crew. And I'll never forget, how I remember it is, he said something to the effect of, hey guys, I don't know what's wrong, but I'm just hurting more than normal and I can't explain it. I'm not going to quit. And you know me, please stick with me. And we made a decision as a boat crew at them in that moment. Okay, yeah, we're only as fast as our slowest man. We're going to rally around Matty because he's earned it and he deserves it. And if we lose every race from here to the rest of Hell Week, who cares? Oh no, so we're going to be wet and sandy? You mean like we were anyway? And once we turned that corner and I realized, this is leadership, collective suffering for one of our own who deserves it. And then not just suffering and no bitching about it, but embracing it. And then almost like, bring it on. We don't even care anymore. We're still going to put out, but who cares if we lose? We're in this for Matty. And so we got through Hell Week. And I would never say we carried him through Hell Week because that dude is a monster, as you know.
I've met him.
Yeah.
He's an animal.
He's an animal. And all the more so, and this is what I saw. The end of Hell Week happens. We limp to the finish line, as you know how that goes. We do the med screening at the time, and he gets the x-rays, and come to find out is both tib fibs were at like something like a 70-something% stress fracture, if I remember correctly. So the dude was walking around on toothpicks that were about ready to snap at any given moment, and yet he finished Hell Week. They medically rolled him to the next class right there. Like, they weren't going to let him continue in our class. So he was there for the beginning. But I remember thinking at the time as a young officer, like, whoa, what if we had run him out of our boat crew? Just out of anger, spite, we weren't winning. We would have missed out on a dude who, at the time, we saw a momentary weakness. In reality, that was incredible resolve and resiliency and hardness and grit and everything we want in our teammates. And then, you know the story of Matt. He ended up, he's a war hero. Ate a PKM in Iraq with lifelong injuries. The result, like, the guy is just revered on the West Coast. Later came back to be an instructor and is still contracting out as an instructor there, still pouring into the next generations. That's another story I would tell our candidates when I was CO. 20-something years later, hey, let me tell you the story about Matty Roberts. This is why you don't run dudes out of your boat crew. You never know who that guy is and what he's going to do for you as a teammate, and you might misinterpret some signs.
Do you tell them about what Matty went through on that deployment? Do you want to go into it right here?
It's not my story to share, I think.
That's okay.
And I know he's been involved in a documentary that's coming out soon, so I'm going to save that one for him to tell when that comes out. But I care very much for the man, and I know a lot of people do. And he is, America should be very thankful that we have men like him that stood the watch.
Yeah. Let's move on. Did you have any hang-ups and buds?
Of course. I mean, they filmed the whole thing. You can watch it and find my hang-ups. I had one or two through the time. But no, I mean, I was fortunate. I wasn't targeted like some guys were. You know how that goes. One last story, we'll move on. I remember right before Hell Week, Terry Geddes was our OIC, and for whatever reason, the cadre decided they didn't like him. And so we're doing the movie hour and the pizzas as we're getting ready to go to the tents for breakout. And instructors come in and call Terry out. Off he goes, comes back in, and he's ghost white. And I walked over. I was like, hey, what was that all about, Terry? And he said, well, all of first phase cadre pulled me to the office and said that it's their mission in life to make me quit in Hell Week. And I remember, I think I said something smart ass like, well, it sucks to be you, and I'm glad I'm not in your boat crew. But I was fortunate not to have that happen. Yet what I'd offer is, what a stud to have that kind of pressure on him. Still is our class OIC. Not only did he not quit, he led incredibly effectively through our class with his LPO, Luis Rivera. That was really the first, almost the leader, right? Like NSW leader that I started looking up to. Like, man, that guy, that's a dude worth following. He can deal with that kind of pressure when he knows the instructors, they're scary. They told him they want him out of this community, and he refused to take that for an answer. And he gritted through Hell Week. And then the cool thing about that, the other side of that coin, is when he got through Hell Week, all of a sudden everybody loved him. All the cadre were like, all right, I guess you're okay. And we thrived as a class under him and Lou's leadership after that. I mean, we could do no wrong almost.
No matter where you're watching Shawn Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share this everywhere you possibly can. And if you're feeling extra generous, please leave us a review on Apple and Spotify podcasts.